Hi everyone. I hope everyone is safe right now. So, first of all, I'm making this video because I want to thank those people who sent me a message privately over Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and my messenger, of course, Facebook, the page. So, first of all, I would like to thank everyone for supporting me and those who keep on buying the book, even though paperback or non-paperback. Thank you so much. For those who have it electronically, guys, it's updated right now. So every time I get like something new, I try to update it grammatically and even the information. So first, I would like to thank everyone for that. For those asking me, how is my life now in Japan? Well, it's still okay. I can't understand Japanese, so I don't really know what's happening, but most of my students are trying to tell me what's happening. Right now, we have an emergency declaration. So a lot of people might misunderstand. So Japanese constitution is quite different from other countries' constitution. So for instance, Japan, like they couldn't really tell people to stay home. They could ask them to stay home and do their part of their social responsibility, but they couldn't force people to do that. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but right now in Tokyo, we almost have about 3,000 people with coronavirus, but we have a few deaths, and I think that's good. Although I applaud South Korea for doing their best. In Japan, on the other hand, if you have mild sickness, they would just take you to a hotel that the Japanese government has rented. And you get to stay there for 14 days until you get better. They would provide everything from food, necessities, and so on. And one is even like a high-end hotel. So anyway, for those, and then some people are, actually I made this video just to, there was a question like, Mira, what is the best way for me to help my girlfriend back in the Philippines? So right now he said he's also struggling back in US, but this is really an old question, but I already answered this one over my Facebook, so I just typed it in. But anyway, for me, the best way for you to help your friend, your girlfriend, or your wife back in the Philippines is to send money. Some people might advise you to send goods and something like that. Maybe if this situation happened like a month or 2 months ago, I think it's okay. But with the condition of United States right now, and our logistics, it's quite difficult. You see, even some, vegetables and fresh products, they couldn't even reach below Baguio City. It is because of the, some local government employees didn't really listen to the mandate. Actually, they're not allowed to halt any logistics in terms of food and essential services, but unfortunately some of them forgot the mandate, so they couldn't really bring it down. For example, because of this problem, even lettuce, it came down up to 35 pesos per kilogram. And how much is that in dollars? Maybe, I'm not sure, but 35 pesos, maybe $70, 70 cents. So that's per kilogram. And another thing is like I understand. Okay, so so first is logistics. Okay, so even in some places they couldn't really get the goods delivered properly. So even though Philippine Postal Office is still open, there are some goods that couldn't be delivered properly because of our lack of manpower and limitation. For instance, your delivery would reach Manila. It would take days or even maybe weeks before it's gonna reach Pampanga or other places because of its main port. So you have to also consider about that. Number two, I'm also recommending money because there are other services that you have to, things that you have to buy, medicine, disinfectants, and so on. So some people might disagree with me, and I understand that, but I believe that it is the most viable way or the best way. You see, I also sent money to my family first when I think April 1st and 14th, like that. And on the second time that I sent money, it was quite bigger than the past. So they don't really need my help because they can survive. But the thing is, it really feels good to know that, somehow I am capable of helping them out. Especially my mom said like milkfish became a bit more expensive. Like about how much? $3 per fish. So I mean in Philippines that's quite expensive already. So maybe before she said it's like $2 for one fish. So things have already changed. So having enough money is also good. Now, Mira, how is the condition of the Philippines right now? Well, Philippines right now, they have extended it up to April. First, it was supposed to be until April 1st, but then they extended it to 14. Now, why did that happen? Because a lot of Filipinos, they didn't follow rules. And at the same time, it's really difficult. We have a lot of repirates. So believe it or not, most of the numbers that we have, they're, the repirates from other country. So they might be asymptomatic, or when they come back, that's the time that they would get a quarantine. And then while they're on quarantine, they would find out that they are, they actually have the virus, and then it would spread to their families. And then some people even lied about being in an overseas country. So people still mingles with them, and then because of this, they have actually infected other people because of that lie. So that's why the number in the Philippines is increasing, especially we have more repirates or overseas Filipino workers coming in. And anyway, going back, so why did I say money again? Second, I am quite aware that in some places you're not allowed to withdraw a certain amount of money. I heard maximum is like in some places 4,000 pesos, like that. And there are no ATMs, or these ATMs ran out of money. So I also understand that. And some like remittance centers, they would give a limitation. I actually did that experiment, and I sent like 10,000 pesos to my mom, and she got it. But maybe in her place it was okay. But she mentioned to me that she had to line up. So that's the downside of sending money though. So it's better to send it little by little. Or maybe if you can send it one time, big time, maybe they would be lucky to get it. And next one, now Mira, how is the situation? How can they buy food? So in the Philippines, we have enhanced community quarantine. This enhanced community quarantine, one person in every household has the right, or would have like a paper, like a pass to go out. So for instance, let's say there are 5 people in your family. The head of the family can have like a pass, and then they can go out to buy necessities, but you cannot go to another town. What is that example? For instance, my friend, actually, he lives, let's say, in one town. Let's say he lives in, his family actually is from Angeles City, but he lives with his wife and his kids in Porac. So that's just, like, it's not even, it's really near. Like maybe 2-3 minutes to Angeles City if you're at the, main border. And he couldn't really go out. So at the supermarkets around their places, the Pure Gold, some of them are closed. So she couldn't buy milk for his kid. Then my other friend, he lives in San Fernando, but his wife lives in Angeles City. And he hasn't seen his kids for 3 weeks now because he couldn't cross the border. So that's the downside of this situation. So it's better to have money, or you can meet halfway. Like you can buy milk from this city, and then you can be on the other city, and then they can give it sideways like that. But I don't know if that could work. None of my friends have tried it yet, but I hope they can find the necessities that they need. So another good thing about this situation, like when you're sending money, in some places they would have the mobile palengke. Mobile palengke is like a truck market. So every morning at certain time of the day, a truck would come by where you can buy food, and then each people in that area, they would have a certain day for that. For example, in my grandma's house, it's MWF. My aunt can go out and go to that mobile palenque to buy some needs, and then after that, they can go back home. So there's also like a curfew. Like for this street, it's like 9 to 11 and then 11 to blah blah blah. So there's a certain time like that. It depends on the local area. And then next one, aside from mobile palengke, there's also like a market delivery. So you have to pay maybe about $1 or $2. It depends on how much you're gonna buy. So that's mainly in my hometown, so don't really know in other places. And next one, the reason why it's better to have money, because for emergency, for instance, like you need to buy medicine and other things, not only food. Of course, food is the most important one, or house rent, of course. So, okay, for everyone, a lot of renters, they have waived the first month, or because these these what do you call those, landlords, sometimes they also need money and it's their only source of income. They would ask the renters to pay at least half of the amount of that month if they couldn't really waive at least a month. So we couldn't really force them, but they also have to survive, right? So it's understandable. Now, Mira, how about the relief goods? Relief goods, it depends on your local government. So the local government, they would sometimes have insufficient products or groceries to give away depending on their capacity and the people who's repacking them, and of course their authenticity. If they really love their place, they would do their best to provide what they can, right? So we couldn't really ask the national government to handle that and see through it. We have about 7 billion people. I don't know how many people, 70 million or 100 plus million people in my country. So it's really difficult. And then next one, how about the money, the subsidy, or what we say, what do you call that? Stimulus, cash. So in that situation, it depends. There are some guidelines. So I'm gonna be posting like the guideline for that on my Facebook and my Facebook page and YouTube community. Like it's like a social media. You can see it if you just click a little bit. You would see who belongs to the poorest of the poor, but usually these people, their salary is below 7,800 pesos a month. So I just remembered, like when I was going to university, that was my salary. I was poorest of the poor. So yeah. So these people, they can get money. But for example, who aren't entitled to get this money? If you're old, you're getting pension. Boo boo. Nope. If you're old but your children are getting salary, call center, nurses or something like that, boo boo. No. If you're above low income, maybe if your salary is 14, 15,000, 20, boo boo, no. So there are many guidelines. And then if you're accepting 4Ps, what is 4Ps? 4Ps is a program by the government which started during the Arroyo administration. That was before Ninoy, that was before Duterte, so that was 2 administration before our current president. They're giving away 4,000 pesos for the poorest of the poor, or single mothers, registered single mothers, not like, they're literally married or something. But anyway, they can get 4,000 pesos as like a stipend every month. They also couldn't get this money. So and then there are many types. So there's this Department of Welfare and Development, Department of Employment and Labor, and from the local government. I don't know about this, but the Department of Welfare and Development, there's a guideline. So there's like a checklist. I'm also going to be posting that. So if your girlfriend is, if she satisfies this checklist, and if the government is satisfied with her answer, of course she can avail for that money. But if not, I'm so sorry. And sometimes it won't reach her. It also depends on the local government and how much they got. Next one, or corruption. As for the Department of Labor, mostly this assistance depends on if that person had a job and then they lost it, so they can try to show and prove the situation. So then they can get some money. And I'm not sure about the guidelines for that. So yeah. Now, Mira, how about middle class? Middle class recently, the government is trying to pass a law to give them assistance as well. And a lot of middle class are happy about it because some of them they're not earning, right? So as of this, with our enhanced community lockdown. So that's about it. Those are the assistance and the things that our government is trying to do. Of course, they're also gonna cover your, if you're sick, they're gonna cover for it. If you have coronavirus, but it's not as much as your government. Your government is giving $1,200, right, as a stimulus check. And what else? Is this gonna be extended? There's a possibility because we couldn't control the curve. But as I've said before, we have repirates. So I think it's really difficult to control the curve. So I have nothing to say to governments. To be honest with you, like, I can get angry, I can get frustrated, but it's not good for my mental health. But I'm very fortunate that I could help my family, and of course people whom you're helping are very fortunate as well. The good thing about this, you know, there's a misunderstanding, like some people might say, especially those who couldn't understand our culture, that of course I'm sometimes, you know, I'm talking like I'm against, you know, helping the whole family, but this is an emergency situation. So some people are saying like it's not the rich people's job to help or blah blah blah. It's not their job, of course, but in our country we have this culture of bayanihan. Bayanihan is like when we care. It's long time ago when our houses were still nipa huts or made of wood. People would carry that house together and then they're gonna move to another place. So it's the same as now. I have seen a lot of goodness from this kind of, you know, bad situation that we're having. You know, in my hometown, local restaurants are cooking for other people, and then they're giving food to frontliners, and then hotels, thank you. You know, the hotel that didn't allow me to get a condo with them, they actually, it's his third week supporting the local people in our area, and I'm very thankful for that. Even though I'm still sulky about the condo, thank you so much for that. I won't mention your name, but yeah, thank you. And then of course ABC Hotel has been always gracious. So they have been helping people in my community. Mira, how about you? Are you helping? Well, the fact that I'm helping my family, I believe that I have you know, I'm kind of proud of myself. But right now I couldn't really help other people because I have to look after myself in Japan, and I have to see what happens. But I'm quite fortunate because I'm teaching online. My company has decided to do this, and my students are still taking it. But on the other hand, I'm also a little bit sad because some students, they took a break because, you know, they don't really like online lessons because, yeah, I don't know, but I understand them. But nevertheless, I hope everyone can get through this pandemic, and don't stress with your politics or your government or with other people. Remember that the best thing that we have right now is a healthy mental, you know, mental health. So and for those who have helped families back in the Philippines, and even those who are, you know, helping their chatmates or something like that, thank you so much. Thank you on behalf of them. Let's survive this together. Stay healthy, stay safe. I'm not gonna say stay home because I have to admit I also go out for the supermarket every now and then just to see people. So guys, thank you, and be safe. And thank you always for supporting my channel. So I have decided to teach a little bit of Tagalog every, maybe some words every day or every 2 days. It depends on my availability from work. So just for us to have something nice to do. And then also I'm also gonna teach some little things that happen in my country every day. So let's see. It depends on my schedule. I'm sorry that I haven't made a video for a long time. I had winter allergies, and then a lot of things. I got sick a lot last month, and at the same time this one, corona, and you know, a lot of things just happened, but I'm better now. So guys, be healthy, and thank you so much for your never-ending support for me and my channel, and for my advocacy. I don't know what my advocacy is, but for it, thank you.